Today, we're putting a bunch of old school legends in the modern NBA. This draft class is filled with the best players drafted between 1960 and 1979. This is a deep draft with a bunch of Hall of Famers. And we're gonna see if these guys can survive the modern game. A game that thrives on three-point shooting and way less physicality than the game back in the day. Without any more talking, let's get straight into the draft. With the first overall pick, the Portland Trail Blazers are going to select Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. You can't go wrong with Kareem, one of the greatest ever. With the second pick, the Raptors will select the Big O, the original Mr. Triple-Double. The Raptors also have the third pick and they're gonna get Bernard King. This is a good draft to have multiple top picks in. The Raptors are gonna have some hoopers on their squad. At number 4, the Detroit Pistons, we know they could use the help, are gonna select Calvin Nat. Magic Johnson and Larry Bird are still on the board. At 5, the Wizards are gonna trade their pick. Of course, that's a Wizards type of move. They trade their pick and Marvin Bagley for Trae Young and Clint Capella. It looks like the Hawks are embracing the rebuild and they're gonna get Larry Bird. Yeah, I would trade Trae Young for Larry Bird any day. At number 6, the Spurs have a chance to pair Magic with Wemby. Oh, they get Jerry West. That's another great pickup. At 7, the Hornets can get LaMelo and Brandon Miller some more help and they're gonna get Magic. So they've got 2 tall PGs over in Charlotte in Magic and LaMelo. At number 8, the Memphis Grizzlies are going to draft Billy Cunningham. At 9, the Rockets take JoJo White. The Jazz are going to get Pistol Pete Maravich, a guy who I think had a game that could have adapted well to the modern era. He was a scorer who could shoot from deep. At 11, the Mavs take Dan Issel. The Hawks are going to take Gail Goodrich. And it looks like a lot of the biggest stars are off the board at this point. I will go ahead and scroll through some of the rest of the picks real quickly though. Adrian Dantley went to the Kings. Rick Barry to Chicago. The granny free throws. But as you can see, there are a ton of very talented players that are going to be entering this league. And we're going to see just how much of an impact these guys can make on the modern game. Now that the draft is over, we're going to get into season number 1. Season number 1 is wrapped and immediately we're seeing the impact of these old school legends. They're having no problem adjusting to the modern game. Rick Barry in his rookie season at an 82 overall puts up 26 points a night, adding on 10 rebounds and 4 assists, along with 2 steals and 2 blocks, and incredible efficiency. Jerry Sloan just got drafted into the league. He's the 6th man of the year. Wembanyama still wins DPOY. We always see this in The Sims. It's becoming about as consistent as Luka winning MVP. And Rick Barry even made All-NBA in his first season. Now checking out the standings this year, we can see if our rookies made an impact. The Cavs had Bob Dandridge coming off the bench. They were the 1 seed in the East. The Sixers had Jamal Wilkes at small forward. They were the 3 seed in the East. The Hawks, after trading Trae Young to go get Larry Bird, finished 4th. The Raptors, yeah, they had a great draft. Went out and got the Big O and Bernard King. They were the 5 seed. And even the Pistons, after picking up Calvin Nat, finished as the 6th seed. It looks like Magic and LaMelo have some work to do though. They really struggled in Magic's first year. And then out west, the Sacramento Kings were number 1 with Adrian Dantley. They also picked up Cat and Mitchell Robinson. This team looks different. The Mavs came in 2nd with MVP Luka and Dan Issel. What? The San Antonio Spurs signed LeBron James. I was like, oh my goodness, Jerry West was going crazy. Well, yeah, Jerry West had a cool rookie season, but they picked up Bron to play with West and Wemby. That is so fire, dude. And also the Utah Jazz with Pistol Pete were the 8th seed. Pete Maravich was hooping 21-9 in his rookie year. Are you kidding me? All right, now that we've checked out some of the teams around the league, let's get into the NBA playoffs. We're gonna go through round 1 pretty quickly, but we'll slow down as we head into the second round. In round 2, we got got Sacramento taking on OKC. None of the old school legends starting for the Thunder, but the Kings have Adrian Dantley. We've got Dallas versus Denver, Luka versus Jokic. Out east though, this is where you're really starting to see the impact of these old school guys. Look at Larry Bird leading the Atlanta Hawks to the second round in his rookie season. And also Calvin Nat has been a big part of the Pistons making a turnaround. So is Jack Sikma. I mean, it's crazy to see the Pistons in the playoffs, right? Much less the second round. It looks like Larry Bird led his Hawks to the conference finals in his rookie season. And then out west, we've got Dallas versus OKC. Dan Issel is the only old school legend starting over here. So we're mainly watching out for Larry Bird and seeing what he can do. But unfortunately, Bird went out in 5 to the Indiana Pacers. A good run for Bird, but he couldn't make the finals in year number 1. So we've got Pacers versus Thunder. Neither one of these teams have any of our old school players starting, so we're just going to go ahead and sim round. Congrats to OKC on the championship. We saw a glimpse of what these old school players could do, but I think that they'll get even better headed into this second season. Magic is up to an 86 overall for year 2. Bernard King is up to an 86. And oh my goodness, look at all these guys going up in overall as well. We're about to see the old heads take over, man. Let's get into another season. Another season in the books. It'll be interesting to see if one of these old school legends will be able to dethrone Luka as MVP at some point. Reggie Theus puts up 20 and 9, wins 6th Man of the Year. JoJo White, most improved player, he averaged 30. And Quinn Snyder, coach of the Hawks with Larry Bird, wins Coach of the Year. All NBA first team is still filled with current players. But Rick Barry is on second team this year. He's been one of the best players, if not the best player out of our legends in this simulation so far. Wow, Billy Cunningham averaging 22 points, 13 rebounds, and 6 assists for the Grizzlies. These are names that you wouldn't typically hear as an NBA fan today, so it's kind of cool to see these older players playing alongside the new guys that we know and love. Checking out the standings this year, Chicago was number 1 in the East after picking up Jason Tatum via free agency. Chicago saw what Rick Barry did in year 1 and wanted to get him some help. At 2, you've got the Toronto Raptors. They've got Rick Barry, Bernard King, and of course, Bol Bol. At 3, it's the Atlanta Hawks, Larry Legendary doing his thing. The Charlotte Hornets took a big leap this year, 52 wins on the season. They had Magic coming off the bench, but oh my goodness, he had to be the best backup PG in the league. And then out west, the OKC Thunder were number 1. Man, they're just unstoppable. The Rockets were second in the West though, with JoJo White and Bobby Jones. Man, JoJo White, he was a professional bucket this year. 30 a game, are you kidding me? The Kings with Adrian Dantley came in 3rd, over 27 a night from Dantley. The Spurs with Jerry West were the 6th seed. West averaged about 22 and 7. And then in 7th, you had the Grizzlies with Billy Cunningham, who was all NBA. He was great this year. Now that we've checked out some of the top teams, let's get into these playoffs. Now that round 2 is over, we can kind of focus in on some of these matchups. We've got Mavs versus Thunder. Oh my goodness, the Mavs picked up Jamal Murray. They lost Kyrie though, but they've got Issel, Doncic, and Murray. We've also got Houston taking on Sacramento here. The Kings with Adrian Dantley taking on a really good Rockets team with JoJo White, who was averaging 30 this year. We've got Chicago taking on the Pacers. Man, the Bulls might be the team to beat in these NBA playoffs. And then we've also got Detroit taking on Cleveland. Cleveland got Franz Wagner. Oh my goodness, he slots in perfectly at their small forward spot. The Pistons are going to have their hands. And it looks like in round 2, we've got at least 2 game 7s, so let's tune in. First one we got is between Detroit and Cleveland. In a very high scoring game, the Cleveland Cavaliers are going to get the win. I mean, yeah, the Cavs just had the perfect starting lineup. They end up beating the Pistons. And then we've got one more game 7. This one is between the Mavs and the Thunder. And the Thunder are going to absolutely dominate in this one. Luka tried his best. Oh my goodness, he tried his best, man. Almost 40 a night in these playoffs, but it's not going to be enough. Dan Issel had an incredible playoffs, but couldn't lead the Mavs to the conference finals. Now we've got Sacramento versus OKC in the Western Conference, and in the East, it's going to be Indiana taking on Cleveland. So our only legend left who's playing a major role is Adrian Dantley, and he ends up losing in the conference final. Man, now we just got a bunch of young players in the finals. I don't even care about these finals. Whoever wins, wins. The Thunder sweep. Oh my goodness, man. They're just too good. I think this year has to be the year one of our legends plays a big role on a championship team. I mean, just looking around the league at the top players, these guys are starting to take over. The Big O, Larry Bird, they're progressing. So with a lot of our legends either close to or entering the 90 overall club, I think we should see them make some major noise this year. One guy I feel like we haven't heard much from so far in this video is Kareem. He's up to a 93 overall though, so that's gotta change soon. I mean, he's playing with Scoot, Shaedon Sharpe. This isn't a bad team at all. I would expect the Blazers to make some noise. Let's get into another season. Season number 3 is wrapped. Rick Barry might just be the GOAT. He won MVP this year. Truck Robinson wins Most Improved Player, averaging 19 points and 10 rebounds. And Dan Issel wins Clutch Player of the Year. Oh my goodness, 24 and 15? And of course, Doc Rivers had to find another great coaching job. He won Coach of the Year over in Chicago. All-NBA first team, and the only old school player who's been able to break through is Rick Barry. Now on the second team, we did have Billy Cunningham, Magic Johnson, who's averaging almost 30 a night, and a ton of assists, of course. I mean, he's Magic. And then you've also got Dave Cowens here as well. On the third team, we see Larry Bird and JoJo White. Bird averaging about 25, 8, and 10 on the season, and JoJo White putting up almost 30 a night once again. Now headed into the playoffs in the East, the top 2 teams were the Chicago Bulls, led by Rick Barry, and the Charlotte Hornets with Magic Johnson and LaMelo. And I think at this point, we got to move around some positions for the Hornets. I want things to work the right way for them. I'm going to slide LaMelo Ball over to the 2. That way they can have LaMelo and Magic starting. I mean, that just makes sense. Anyways, heading over to the West, you had the Oklahoma City Thunder, of course. Hopefully somebody beats them this year. Then you also had the Los Angeles Lakers. They've got Jeff Petrie, who's out here scoring. He had a crazy My Team card back in the day. If you know, you know. And they also had Bob Love coming off the bench. He was a dog. Low-key, he was better than Anthony Davis this season. Also, real quick, if you're enjoying the video so far, I'd really appreciate if you consider subscribing. We're really close to 30K. Thank y'all so much for your support. Here in round number 2, we got the Kings taking on the Thunder. Can somebody please beat this OKC team? Wait, the Kings have Luka? 2K is a crazy game, man. We've got the Lakers taking on the Grizzlies here. And in the East, we've got a face-off between 2 legends. Rick Barry versus Larry Bird. The Hawks also have Gail Goodrich. And then we've got Charlotte taking on Detroit. LaMelo and Magic trying to make some noise. Now, what's interesting here in the Eastern Conference is if Atlanta and Charlotte advance, we could see Magic versus Bird in the conference finals. Okay, the Hornets advanced and the Hawks might just do it. They're gonna have to earn the dub in a game 7. I'm rooting for Larry Legendary in this one. Wouldn't it be cool to see Magic versus Bird in the modern day? And it looks like Bird is gonna do it. He takes down the league MVP with a triple-double in this one to advance to the conference finals against Magic. And then in the West, it's OKC taking on Memphis. Billy Cunningham, I need you to lock in so that you can beat this Oklahoma City Thunder team. Also, Ja, I need you out there going crazy too. Alright, it looks like the Magic and Bird series is coming down to the wire. We've got a game 7 here. We've got to tune in. And it looks like Larry Bird will get the best of Magic, 173 points in regulation. Magic was going crazy in these playoffs, but Bird was able to get the win. Whoever wins this game 7 between the Grizzlies and the Thunder will be taking on Bird, and it's going to be Oklahoma City. So Larry Bird will have his hands full in this one, trying to take down a stacked Thunder squad. Good luck, Larry. This is going to be tough. Game 1 of the series goes to the Hawks. Game 2 goes to the Hawks. Thunder will win game 3. Hawks take game 4, and they beat the Thunder in 5. Larry Legendary takes down the Oklahoma City Avengers to win a championship. And now we're just gonna see a takeover from our legends. Larry Bird was the first player to get on the board with a finals MVP, but he definitely won't be the last. I think these old school guys are about to start cooking these young dudes. Let me know in the comments section if you, with your current height, current skill set, everything, right, were dropped into the 1960s NBA, how many points per game would you average? I would say I'd probably average a smooth 100. They'd call me Danny Chamberlain. Rick Barry, another MVP. I didn't expect him to become so good in this league. On the first team, it's still a lot of these young guys in the league, but Rick Barry is holding strong. On the second team, there's the reigning finals MVP, Larry Bird. You've also got Bernard King over in Toronto, Billy Cunningham, and the Big O. He didn't average a triple-double this year, but he's getting closer and closer each season. And And then on the third team, you've got Magic, Nate Tiny Archibald, Jeff Petrie, Chet Holmgren, and John Morant. And now we're headed into another NBA playoff. Checking out the standings in the East, it was against Chicago, who were great in the regular season, but they have yet to win a championship. At 2, you had the Magic. They've got Dave Cowens, Trae Young, Paolo, Otis Birdsong. This is a well-rounded team. And the Hawks are looking to repeat behind Larry Bird and Gail Goodrich. Wow, the Hornets traded for AD. They add him to an already crazy team. Watch out for them this year. Out west, it was Sacramento with Luka and Cat. They've also got Adrian Dantley out there getting buckets. You've got OKC coming in second. The Rockets were third with JoJo White, who's just been a bucket. And the Lakers came in fourth. Now, the scoring has been crazy in this video. Yeah, they changed the shot clock to 20 seconds. I was about to say, I feel like we've been seeing a lot of players putting up insane numbers. But anyway, we're going to go through these first couple rounds really quickly and then just get straight to the conference finals. We've got the Lakers taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Lakers have Jeff Petrie and Bobby Jones, and the T-Wolves have Robert Parrish. And out east, it's Magic and the Hornets looking to get through the Cavs, who are still incredible. But man, I think the Hornets can give the Cavs some trouble. They've got a really good squad over in Charlotte. Man, the Hornets lost. The Cavs get the dub. And the Lakers are also going to advance to the finals. So it's a Lakers versus Cleveland finals here. We've got a couple of our legends here in the finals, but they aren't the headlining players of the series by any means. We'll see how this one goes. Game 1's going to go to the Cavs. Cavs take game 2 and game 3, and Cleveland will sweep the NBA Finals. That Cleveland team was nuts. I mean, we talk about the Thunder as an overpowered 2K team. The Cavs are right up there too, man. But anyways, let's get into another season. Hopefully next year we get some game 7s we can jump into. I want to see some gameplay with these legends. Another season in the books. Wembanyama averages 30, 16, and 6. Magic Johnson wins 6th Man of the Year in Charlotte. I moved LaMelo to the 2 so that Magic would start. But I mean, really good numbers for Magic nonetheless. Wemby also wins DPOY. And here's your All-NBA first team. Shout out to the Big O, averaging over 32 a night, adding on about 13 assists. Rick Barry was on here as well. Larry Bird made second team. He's looking to get back to the finals, win another chip. And then here's your third team with a bunch of these old school legends. They had Magic coming off the bench. He won 6th Man of the Year, still made All NBA. That's tough. Here were the standings for this season. Atlanta was number 1. Yeah, this team is really nice. Chicago was number 2. I'm not moved by this team anymore. They're always good in the regular season and then sell in the playoffs. Gotta watch out for the Cavs. They were great last year. They'll probably be really good again this year. Although they don't have Garland anymore, they did pick up Jalen Duren though. And the Hawks come in at 4th in the East, led by Larry Legendary. Out west, the number 1 team was the San Antonio Spurs with Jerry West, the Iceman, who played for the Spurs in real life. He started off his career with Brooklyn, ended up with San Antonio here, and now we've got a nice big 3, actually a big 4 in San Antonio with West, Harper, Gervin, and Wemby. Of course, OKC has to be in the mix in the Western Conference, and then in 4th, you've got Golden State, who have Kyrie Irving, Bob Lanier, Franz Wagner, Kuminga. This is a really good team. Kalabali's coming off the bench. Let's get into these playoffs. I think we're going to go straight to the conference finals, and then hopefully we'll get some games we can jump into, watch these teams hoop. So we've got San Antonio taking on OKC, Wemby versus Chet. You've got George Gervin in the mix, Jerry West in the mix. This is going to be a good series. And then out in the Eastern Conference, you've got the Cavs taking on the Orlando Magic. Dave Cowens is really the only notable old school legend involved in this series. The Cavs went ahead and swept the Magic. They're looking to repeat as champions. But out west, we've got a competitive series between San Antonio and OKC. We're going to tune into this game 5. The series is all tied up right now. And I would love to see Chet and Wemby going at it, and then also our legends getting in the mix. I think this will be a really good game to jump into. 145 to 145, about a minute to go here. Let's get into it. McNeely is going to give it into Jalen Green. Green is defended by Jerry West. Jerry, I'm rooting for you here. I'm rooting for San Antonio. They've got our legends on the team. Green to the basket. Floater is good right over Jerry. Does San Antonio have an answer here? West bringing up the ball. Wembanyama's rolling to the basket. West is going to give it to him. Wemby's layup is off, gets his own board, goes back up, misses again. Good defense there from Chet Holmgren. McNeely's going to give it over to Green. Jalen Green Trying to go at Jerry West once again. West playing good defense though, so Green swings it to McNeely. McNeely's gonna ball fake, get the screen from Holmgren. Not much time left. McNeely, oh, what a pass fake, but Wemby is gonna erase the shot, and now Jerry West is bringing it up once again for San Antonio. West finds Robinson Earl for a midi, and he misses. Thunder will grab the rebound. No need for San Antonio to foul. They've got plenty of timeouts. They just need to stop. Then they call one of those timeouts, right? Jalen Green has it at the top of the key here. Green, with about 5 seconds remaining on the shot clock, gonna get the screen from Wembanyama. Green, gonna pull a 3 ball and miss it. The Spurs will have one last chance at it here. They can go for a 3 if they want to win. They can go for a 2 if they want to force OT. Jeremiah Robinson Earl gives it into West. West over to Gervin. Back to Earl for a 3. Why is Jeremiah Robinson Earl taking shots in the clutch? You got the Iceman on your team. You got Mr. Clutch. That's his nickname. Mr. Clutch. Jerry West. And you give the ball to Jeremiah Robinson Earl. Not to mention, you have this 7'4" guy, Victor Wembanyama. I don't know what San Antonio was thinking there in the clutch, but now they will be facing elimination headed into game 6. That game 5 was really fun, so we're gonna get in the Simcast once again. And it looks like in game 6, San Antonio will bounce back. The Iceman with 32, the Logo with 24, and Wemby at 31. I wonder if Wemby will get a cool nickname throughout his career. Wembanyama almost had a 5x5 game. Oh my goodness, he was just missing the rebounds. That's nuts. But anyway, I wonder if Wembanyama will get any cool nicknames throughout his career. Let me know if you have any ideas in the comment section. Oh yeah, also we're headed to a game 7 here. OKC versus San Antonio. Thunder had a big lead going into the 4th, but San Antonio is trying to fight back. It's pretty close here, about 2 minutes to go. Let's jump in. We just hopped in and Jerry West is at the foul line. First one for West is good. What is this camera angle, bro? Please get me off of this. Second one for West is also good. And now the Spurs are within 4. I'm a San Antonio fan right now. I'm tired of the Thunder dominance, and plus the Spurs have a couple of our legends. Jalen Green gonna pull a short jumper and miss. Spurs will grab the rebound. It's gonna go right to Jerry West. West gives it over to Harper. Now it goes to Gervin. George Gervin gonna fake. He's kind of trapped. Did he just step out of bounds? Yes, he did. Come on, George. You gotta know where the out of bounds line is, man. Lock in. Jalen Green bringing up the ball here for OKC. Green gonna get the screen, go to the basket, and the layup is good. Jerry West has it. West is backing down SGA. SGA has the height advantage, but West is gonna go up with the floater. He misses. It's rebounded by Holmgren. Spurs in desperate need of a stop here. Ball's gonna go to Chet for OKC. Chet gives it to Shea. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander gonna give it back to Chet. Now it goes over to McNeely. Not much time left for the Thunder to get a shot off. McNeely finds some room off the screen, misses. Wembanyama the rebound. Now it's gonna go up to Gervin. Gervin over to Jerry West. The Logo needs to make something happen here. Jerry West gets the screen from Wembanyama, and he's gonna find Wemby on the pop. Wemby fakes a couple times, finally decides to pull, and he misses. Wemby, you're selling. You were wide open. Now it's gonna go up to McNeely for OKC. McNeely is gonna get intentionally fouled, and Wembanyama just fouled out. Why would you foul when you knew you were about to foul out? San Antonio might just be cooked here. Jalen Green gonna give it over to Holmgren. Holmgren pops a 3 and misses. All right, this might be your chance, San Antonio. You need a bucket. It goes to Gervin, the Iceman, working on Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. Goes to the basket, fakes. He's trapped right now. That's got to be a 3-second, by the way. Throws up a bad shot, misses. That's going to do it. The Spurs lose in this one. OKC is advancing to the NBA final. In the finals, the Thunder will be taking on the Cavs. None of our legends are even involved in this series, so I'm just going to sim around. The Thunder won that series in 7. I'm getting sick and tired of OKC, man. I think 2K needs to add a setting where you can just ban the Thunder from your league because they're too overpowered, bro. Let's get into another year. Another season in the books. Cam Boozer wins MVP. Darius Garland wins 6th Man of the Year over in Toronto. Man, the Raptors must be stacked if they got Garland coming off the bench. Oh, they got him coming off the bench for Oscar Robertson. That makes sense. Rick Barry on first team. Rick Barry, I'm not going to lie to you. You're kind of a fraud in this video. You make first team, you won MVP, all that good stuff, but you can't ever do anything when it comes down to the playoffs. Larry Bird makes second team this season, and then you also have Billy Cunningham and Adrian Dantley on the third team for this year. Here were some of the top teams heading into the playoffs. Hey, like I was just mentioning, Challenge. Chicago, great regular season team. Do I expect them to win a championship? No. The Magic, they're in the mix as well. You got the Hornets with LaMelo, Magic, Brandon Miller. This team is so good. This team is so good. There's no reason they shouldn't be in the mix for the championship. The Hawks coming fourth. Bird hasn't done too much since he won that championship earlier in the video. Then out west, it's Oklahoma City, here to ruin our hopes and dreams. San Antonio is here as well. They just got beat by the Thunder last year in Game 7. We'll see if they can bounce back. The Rockets are third. And the Utah Jazz with Pistol Pete are fourth. They've also got Cam Boozer here as well. Let's get into the playoffs. We're going through the first couple rounds pretty quickly. Then we'll slow it down for the conference finals. It's going to be a rematch this year in the West between the Spurs and the Oklahoma City Thunder. And then over in the East, it's going to be Chicago taking on Charlotte. All right, Chicago, I was hating earlier. This is your all's chance to redeem yourselves and make a final. Out west, the San Antonio Spurs got their revenge on OKC. They swept them. But over in the East, we've got a big Game 5 coming up. Charlotte and Chicago are all tied up here. And it looks like Game 5 will go to Charlotte despite Josh Giddey dropping 38. All right, anyway, LaMelo Ball had a mean triple-double. Magic Johnson has been out there hooping 36 and 15. Are you kidding me? The stats have been ridiculous with the 20-second shot clock. And to be honest with you, I'm here for it. It's cool to see some of these old school guys just putting up stat lines. They're absolutely breaking the game. And now Magic and the Hornets are going to have a chance to beat Rick Barry, and it looks like they'll do exactly that. Magic is going to the finals against Jerry West and the San Antonio Spurs. Here we go. This is going to be a fun one. I think these teams are pretty evenly matched. They both have a lot of talent on their squad. Game number 1 of the series will go to the Spurs. Hornets take game 2. Spurs take game 3 and 4. And the Spurs will win it in 5. Wembanyama, Jerry West, and George Gervin get a ring. I thought that was going to be more competitive. But hey, shout out to Wemby for getting over the hump, beating the Oklahoma City Thunder, and winning a championship. Season is wrapped. Magic Johnson wins MVP. Adrian Dantley won Clutch Player of the Year. And here's your All-NBA first team. You got Magic, the fraud, Rick Barry. I'm sorry, Rick. And you've also got Billy Cunningham. On All-NBA second team, you got Larry Bird and Dan Issel. And then on third team, you got Oscar Robertson. And that's about it. It's a bunch of other young guys. Headed into these playoffs, the Eastern Conference was pretty weird. Nobody was that good. The best team was the Wizards with 48 wins. They were led by Lenny Wilkins. We haven't heard much from him in this video, but here he is, leading the team to the 1 seed. At 2, you got Chicago. We're not moved. At 3, you got the Nets. Kyrie is back. And then at 4, it's Orlando. Oh, the West was crazy. They had some great teams. Oklahoma City, of course, had to be really good. The Pels were number 2. They had Bill Walton running some center. The Lakers were 3rd. They've got a bunch of old school players. Mo Cheeks, Otis Birdsong, Bobby Jones, and Bob Lanier. And then the defending champion Spurs were 4th. Let's get into these playoffs. We're going to get straight to the conference finals. So in the conference finals this year, it's going to be OKC versus the Lakers. I'm a Lakers fan for this series, man. We want to see LA get the dub because the Thunder, they don't have any of the legends, and plus, they're just too good. And then in the East, it's going to be Charlotte versus the Nets. The Hornets trying to get their hands on a championship. And it looks like the Nets and the Hornets will be headed to a Game 7 here. Let's see if Magic can get the dub in this final game. It looks like Magic and the Hornets will advance. They're going to the finals against the Los Angeles Lakers. Magic facing the team that he played for in real life. And this Lakers team is really solid. They just took down the Thunder, so you know you got to take them serious. Game 1 of the series is going to go to LA. LA takes game 2 and game 3, and they're going to win it in 4. Magic wins finals MVP in a losing effort. We're going to run it back for one last season and see who can take home the final championship of the video for all the bragging rights. Another season in the books. Let's just skip through everything and get straight to these playoffs, man. I don't care about all the All-NBA stuff. I just want to see some teams go out there and hoop. We're going to get straight to the conference finals like we've been doing. We got OKC versus Dallas this year. The Mavs have Dan Issel, Sidney Moncrief, a couple legends, and the Thunder, they're the Thunder. And then out east, it's going to be Brooklyn versus the Milwaukee Bucks. The Bucks still have Giannis. They've also got Adrian Dantley on the team. And the Nets, they've got Bob Dandridge and then a bunch of young dudes, some auto-generated guys and stuff. The Thunder are going to sweep the Mavs. And the Nets are going to a Game 7 with Milwaukee, so let's jump in the Simcast. It looks like this one's coming down to the wire, so let's jump in. 1. Scott has the ball here for the Brooklyn Nets. They're down by a point with about a minute 30 to go. He's going to get the screen from Towns. Scott getting absolutely clamped here. Dumps it down to Towns, who's in a crowded paint. He misses, but it's tipped up and in. There goes Robinson with the tip in. Oh, this is Truck Robinson. I think he won an award at some point in this video. Yeah, he won Most Improved. I remember that. Anyway, let's get back to the game. Giannis Antetokounmpo bringing it up for Milwaukee. Antetokounmpo to the basket, gonna fake. He swings it out to Harrington. Harrington over to Wellington for a 3, and it's in and out. He got robbed. Now it's gonna go back to Scott. Scott swings it over to Park. Park going to the basket on a hero, and he's fouled. First one for OJ Park is good. Second one for OJ Park is also good. So now the Brooklyn Nets are up by 3. Do the Bucks have an answer? Giannis Antetokounmpo's bringing it up. Giannis going to the basket, spins, fakes, puts up a layup, and misses. It's rebounded by Towns. Now it goes to Scott. Now it's going to go up to Mikal Bridges. Bridges kind of stuck, so he swings it to Park. Park gets the screen from Scott. Now it's going to go down to Boozer. Boozer doubled, finds Park in the corner for a 3, and Park knocks it down. That might just be the dagger. The Bucks might be done here. Unless the Bucks hit a 3, their season is probably over. Giannis over to Harrington for a 3-ball, and he knocks it down. All right, things might get a little interesting. It's going to be Gonzalez going to the foul line. First one is good. Second one for Gonzalez is also good, giving the Nets a 5-point lead here. The Bucks are going to give it into Harrington. Harrington over to Antetokounmpo, over to Dantley in the corner, and he misses. That will do it. The Milwaukee Bucks lose in Game 7, and the Nets are advancing to the finals, where they're going to have their hands full. They're taking on OKC. Man, none of our legends are even involved in this series. I'll see if it goes to a Game 7, though, because I'd like to hop in for the final series of the video. It looks like this one is kind of back and forth, but the Nets do finish it in 6. That's where we're going to wrap up the video. If you enjoyed, be sure to like and subscribe. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.